So, nalinamba guys, Erowan Jibusha. Ativa Kamba, I am reserves Mulelanda. Efinchi. And it's a great question, right? I mean, if you talk about Zambia's national reserves having reached an all-time high of $5.2 billion, what does it actually mean for you and I as citizens? Now, Marv, look at this. It is really Ichola. That's what it is, as simple as that. But I'll break down a bit further to you, right? Forex reserves are essentially the savings account of our country. They are managed and essentially held by the Bank of Zambia, and they consist of foreign currencies, gold, and other international assets. Their significance lies in the ability to protect the economy from shock. There's always going to be shock, and I'll break down a little bit further on that, and I'll tell you why they're critical. Number one is to stabilize the currency. Now, Marv, you and I both know, whenever you see on WhatsApp groups, people sharing currency information, number, 26, 28, the point is, this is the most visible function for the average citizen. If the local currency starts to lose value, you know what that means? The currency is depreciating, and it impacts many things. It impacts the cost of items. And of course, I'll give a bit of background on that. Now, the central bank can intervene, and the manner in which it intervenes is that it can use those reserves to sell some of them. So those same reserves get sold, and they buy up local currency. This reduces the supply of local currency, increasing demand and helping to stabilize the exchange rate. So it's another way in which we try to balance things, to keep the currency stable, so you and I don't have to panic whenever it goes up, goes down. We can plan, right? This is really how it is. Now, it prevents drastic price increases for imported goods. Fuel, food, these are some of the stuff we don't make locally, we have to import. Now we have to use foreign currency for that. And if foreign currency crashes, it's going to take the prices up, and we don't want that. Number two, we need to use Forex to pay for essential imports. In other words, import cover. A country needs foreign currency to pay for critical imports. I mentioned oil before. The oil price, it depends largely on Forex. It's a big driver for cost of things. Electricity. Right now we have a power deficit. Some of the electricity that we're actually importing. We need Forex for that. Medical supplies and all of the stuff. Now, reserves act as a buffer to ensure that trade continues seamlessly during tough times. Economists often measure months of import cover. This is the period in which your Forex can cover all your imports. And this is really a key metric for economic health. And this is why we celebrate such a thing. Now, you and I both know that when this government came into office, we inherited a lot of debt. Now, in order for us to start to service the debt, we need to utilize reserves. So number three, servicing national debt. Most developing countries like ours, we borrow money in foreign currencies like Eurobonds, as the country did over the years. Now, to pay the interest and the principal as well on these loans, the government needs foreign cash. Adequate reserves ensure the currency doesn't default on its loans, which would ruin its credit rating and make future borrowing even more expensive and completely impossible. We need to borrow to function. And we, of course, you're very much aware that our credit rating is rising because confidence is rising. And number four, I'll break down confidence for investors. Foreign investors look at a currency's reserves before investing. High reserves signal that the country is financially stable and that has capacity to pay its bills. This is a great thing, and it acts as a signal of creditworthiness, encouraging foreign direct investment. Now, as our credit rating increases, our ability to borrow increases, but borrowing for productivity, not for consumption like we were doing before. Now, number five, we need an emergency buffer. This is a fund. This is a savings account for a rainy day. So I'll give you an example. Economies face unexpected shocks, pandemics. You saw what happened with COVID, natural disasters. They happen. It could be a flood, it could be all sorts of calamities, and God forbid, war, right? Now, reserves provide immediate liquidity to deal with these crises without needing to beg for emergency bailouts immediately. This is money that we can use, and it's important because, and I'll wrap it up like this. National reserves are significant because they give a country economic sovereignty. Without them, a nation is vulnerable to every shift, every shock in global market, leading to high inflation and instability. Our country needs this bag. We need ichuma to use it to keep this economy going, to ensure that all that is being done is bettering the quality of life of citizens. Our economy is rising. Our reserves are rising, which basically means that the 5 points I've shared with you will become better and better. I hope that has made sense, so you and I can celebrate Mokwe News for the Republic. You guys already know. Umuntu alebomba. Fintu fide chitika. Bali. Kwa bali. Saka manafie.